Welcome back to Nat Joe's Cafe Library. Today I'm going to do a video. It's the first in what I hope will be a new series of writer videos. I will be highlighting the Scribbler box. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not a rep or anything. It's just something new that I'm trying. My wife got me like a sampler Scribble box for Christmas and I really loved all the stuff in it. So I thought I would try a new thing. So Scribbler or Go Scribbler is kind of like a book box but for authors. Each month is curated around a specific theme, and the whole point of it is it's got like a little passport of tips and tricks and things about how to write whatever thing they're focusing on, whether it be like character, endings, middles, beginnings, whatever, and a bunch of other writer advice stuff and swag. Plus there's a book. Each box does have a book in it. This is my first, the mail carriers were not kind to my box, but it's fine. This is my first subscription of this box. The first one that I got for Christmas was like a random sampler of stuff. So this is my first like actual Oh yeah, so Scribbler, they also do like writing contests. So this is a little postcard thingy for the Scribbler writing contest. Practice writing vivid descriptions, describing your hometown in 4 to 5 sentences. We will select one winner and receive a bonus gift. Entries close February 13th. So that's what this writing contest is. And then, what on earth is this? It is a little stuffed oat apple bite. There's also just a bunch of like just writer swag in general. I think I mentioned that, but I don't remember. Oh, it's a set of 5 bookmarks, which is hilarious because I consistently don't use bookmarks. I'm trying really hard to use a bookmark with this book I'm reading this month. So far it's not gone well. I am trying to be less of a heathen, but so let's see. The first one is a Read More, Sleep Less. I heart books. Reading is the best defense against unwanted conversation, says no one ever, because every single time you try to read a damn book in public, them fools are like, what are you reading? I wish reading was the best defense against conversation. It seems to bring on unwanted conversation. If my book is open, your mouth should be closed. Yes. The book was better. That's funny. So, adorable little set of bookmarks. This is from Public School Paper Co. Ooh, these look like notebooks. Oh Lord. I got a really cool like Starry Night star signs. What are they called? Star signs like Aquarius, Capricorn, all that crap. I got a really cool notebook in my Christmas box that had that kind of cover. It's really pretty. So this is from Piccadilly Paper Co. 3-pack. Oh my good Lord. Oh my good. Just what I need. I have a ridiculous obsession over collecting notebooks, and then I never I don't know why I'm trying so hard. I have scissors right here. Work smarter, not harder. I have a weird obsession over collecting notebooks, but I've never been able to fill them. I'm getting better. Now that I'm writing 2 different books, I am trying to keep my crap separate. Ooh, very nice. It's a little set of a teal, brown, and black notebook. Nice lined paper. Holy crap, hold on. With a little folder thing in the back. That's cool. So then this is the little writing passports that they do each month. So this one is descriptions. And then in the passport are like tips, tricks, and writing advice. And then it has career highlights from Megan Chance. So I'm assuming that's who the book, is that who the book's from? Yeah, so that's the author whose book is in here later, Megan Chance. And then she has a little blurb on how to write descriptions. Her quote about descriptions: description should add another layer of depth to any scene. So she says that you must be aware of description, the way you are aware of every aspect of characterization and plot, it is that important, which I agree with, because descriptions add so much depth to what you're writing. You can use it to describe your character, your room, but it goes deeper than that. Like, you can use descriptions to set the entire mood. Like, if you want to have a dark and gloomy setting, use dark and gloomy words to describe that setting. It'll pull you into that room a lot more than just saying it was a dark, stormy night, you know? Yeah, description is writing that shares an impression and a point of view. Shares a really good point, because I just finished reading a book. I absolutely love this book. I blazed through it in the whole, like, 2 freaking days. But some of the writing in the book was very description heavy, and I got a little bogged down. And I found myself skipping over the descriptions because I just couldn't quite. It felt like a little bit like a list of adjectives and adverbs. And at the end of the day, I was like, I think it's a room with a tree. So I just kind of skipped. So she makes a really good point that doesn't mean just adding a long list of adjectives. Again, detail can be numbing. Instead, pick out details that matter and make the reader do the work. She makes a really good point about how description should be looked at as a character development, and you should use describing the world from your character's point of view, and as that changes, you can show your character growth, which is a really cool point. I didn't really think of it that way, because as your paradigm shifts and you experience new things, or your character starts to experience new things, the way they're looking at the world will change, and the way the details that they pick out, the details that are important to your character at that time, depending on their mindset, will be completely different. So that's a really good point. I never really thought of that. Have you guys thought of that before when it comes to descriptions? Cool. So this whole thing is just a whole like little mini essay that this author has written about descriptions, and it has her little bio in the back. So the passports are really helpful. I have another one in there about endings that was very useful. It had like a little how to write a good ending that was very useful for me. So I'm hanging on to these for sure. That's the passport. I love these passports. And then they also have this awesome thing called the publishing process, an inside look, which these are full of amazing little tidbits and industry standards and advice, which is so useful because I feel like it changes all the freaking time. Like, I did not realize, and I'm realizing how slow to the game I am on this, that the hashtag Twitter pitch things are I did not realize that was, one, a thing, and that it was as big as it is. Had no idea. I'm over here doing the old school, like, letter query crap, and I had no idea that there was this hashtag thing going on the side. Had no idea. Completely just, I've never been on Twitter before. I'm still not entirely sure I'm doing it right, but I am on Twitter now. So those of you who want to take pity on me, here's my Twitter handle, username, whatever thing. Yeah, I had no idea. And so these little, like, helpful pamphlets, probably a godsend, because the industry changes all the time, especially with what is considered an indie author and what's considered a self-published and the big box house and the whole thing. That's insane. So this one, let's see what this one's got this time. This one talks about a synopsis and how to write a good synopsis for self-publishing or querying or whatever it is that you are doing. So it points out, has like little sections that are highlighted, and it breaks down why that's important and why to do what they do. The cool thing about this though is that these are actual, like the last one was query letters that I got, and it was an actual query letter that was the author had written, and it broke apart what she did and why she did it, how it worked, and yeah, so this one has like little sections that are little highlighted, and it talks about why that entire paragraph was important, what its purpose was. I suck at writing synopsises. I can't do it. I struggle so much. I mean, it took me how long to write this like 400-page book? Now you want me to condense something down to a 5-page thesis? Like, are you out of your mind? I suck at writing synopses. Synopsis? I don't know, this is like a goose geese kind of thing. So this will be useful. It's a little beefy though, so I'm not gonna like read it to y'all. If you want to, though, I can. Just let me know. But it talks about the importance of being able to get to the main point of the action, what your rising action is, and how it resolves in a way that still gets all of your readers' attention. Sometimes I feel like writing a synopsis is like writing a mini book. Oh, the treat. It's on the back. It has like a what's in your box thing. They have a little treat because it says, what is a writing session without a sweet treat? So then the book that was included was A Splendid Ruin by Megan Chance. Yes. The back does not do much for a setting, so I'm not entirely sure. It's based in San Francisco. You know, honestly, I have no idea about the time frame. Orphaned girl goes to live with her aunt and a whole bunch of really weird crap happens. This is like a very quick summary of what this happens. But yeah, but I have absolutely no idea what kind of timeline we're looking at. They're in San Francisco. It says that San Francisco comes tumbling down, and like out of the ruins, she tries to reclaim what is hers. So I don't know if they're talking about like the earthquake or I have no idea. I'm really confused. But that's this book. It's not going to go high up on my TBRs because I'm not a huge fiction buff. I will read them occasionally when I strike a fancy, but this is not something I'm like out of my way to read. But I'll hang on to it and read it. It sounds like an interesting book. I just don't really know. I have no idea the setting. The setting's a little confusing. We'll see. If anybody's... I keep trying to talk while I grab my tea because I can't focus. But if anybody's read any of the Megan Chance books or Splendid Ruin or whatever, let me know. Like, help me a little bit. What is this about? Because it seems interesting. I just don't really understand. Like, are we talking like early 1700s, 1800s, 1900s? What's happening? So that is my first Scribblers box. I did enjoy it. I always forget to write descriptions of my characters though. I don't know why. You'd think that would be the first thing I write, but I just don't. I had one of my friends beta read this last book that I'm sitting on, Shadows Past, that is the publisher right now. And she texts me and she's like, dude, what do your people look like? I don't think I've seen any descriptions of them. And I'm like, oh yeah. Because that's important. So I forget that. But like rooms and the scenery, I feel like that is something that's, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'm completely talking out my ass and I'm terrible at them. I guess it depends on my mood. Because I feel like in Shadow's Voice, I remembered to write the descriptions a lot better, but writing Shadows Past, I feel like I was so caught up in trying to figure out what the plot was that I forgot a couple times and I had to go back and remind myself to do descriptions. So I don't know. How do you guys handle writing descriptions? Like, is it I know a lot of people, and even in the little thing, the little pamphlet passport thing, it said to like focus on your senses. But I feel like whenever I actively remind myself to like write taste, touch, smell, hearing, and all that crap, I end up doing them in an order. Like I end up writing them on the page in that order, and it doesn't quite feel as organic to me. What do you guys do to work on descriptions, and how do you write good descriptions? What are your tricks? I'm a very visual person, so I feel like when I write descriptions in my things, I focus more on that aspect, the physicality of stuff. Just because that's how I experience life a lot more. So that's how my characters experience too. But I'm also like a big personal space person. Like I have quite a defined bubble of don't touch me. And my main character also kind of has, like, that's an aspect that I wrote into her because it was easy for me. And so she really has a hard time with people being close to her and touching her. So a lot of my descriptions are defined by like in terms of space to the other person because she's actively aware of it and it makes her extremely anxious and uncomfortable most of the times. It's interesting. My first two books that I've written, the one that I'm hoping to have good news on the end of this week, have been extremely fantasy based. Like it's in its own made up world. Everything's fantasy, 100% made up. I'm taking a stab at the urban fantasy, and it is much harder for me than I thought it would be. You'd think writing something based in the world I see every day would be really easy, but I struggle for some reason. Baby boy. Oh, hey, baby. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you for bringing me a mouse. I struggle with describing the everyday world because to me it sounds mundane. Like I was writing a scene in a morgue earlier, and I was reaching for that thesaurus because I just felt like every time I was describing this morgue scene, it was the most mundane, boring thing on the planet. But then describing a completely made up world that's sitting in my head is just so much easier for me. I don't know. What do you guys think? Those of you who write urban fantasy, hi, come here. Come say hi. Whatever. Those of you who write urban fantasy versus fantasy, does one come easier for you than the other one? Come here. Come say hi. He's mad because I'm sitting in his chair. It's my chair, but 'tis definitely his chair. Huh. Anyway, so that was my first Scribbler's box. I hope to make a little bit of a series of this, talking about different aspects of writing, the things that suck about publishing. So if this was a little bit all over the place, my bad. I kind of don't really know where I'm going with this yet. This was my first Scribbler box that wasn't just like a piecemeal. I really do like the box. I think it's very cool. I like the helpful little passport things and the like publishing process and different little like fine-tooth look at different aspects of it. So that's really cool. Also book swag. Who doesn't like book swag? So hopefully as I get a couple more of these boxes and I get a little bit more about what it is that I'm doing, they won't be quite as all over the place, but we all know that that's going to be a lie. So thank you for joining me on this kind of a random little thing. Hopefully they get better. Hopefully this wasn't too rambly. It felt really rambly. Let me know in the comments below, like what part of descriptions do you guys struggle with? The urban fantasy versus fantasy writing. Like, I don't know why writing in the real world is so hard for me, but God, is it difficult. Like, I have to take a break after each paragraph because I feel like I'm just so, after like each chapter, because I'm so exhausted just trying to write a scene that doesn't feel like a boring, mundane, bleh. I don't know. It's very difficult for me. The other books I was able to I got into like writing zones and I would just bust out a bunch of pages. This one I feel like I'm trudging a lot more. Let me know below your thoughts on descriptions, what you struggle with, what you don't struggle with, what you do and don't like in other books that you've read, because sometimes long lists of just adjectives really set me, it's hard for me to focus. I'm a skim reader as it is, so if I have to read more than like 3 descriptive words in a sentence, I just kind of hop to the end and go, it's a room with stuff in it. Anyway, like and subscribe. Let me know below what you think about all of that crap that we talked about. Yeah, if you guys get the Scribbler boxes, if you guys have been doing this before, let me know, because they look really cool. This first box was really cool. I'm very excited about it. I do like that even though it's an author box, like a writing box, I still get a book, because I'm not running out of space at all or anything. But anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope it wasn't too bad, and I will see you guys on the next one.